Now, literally, I'm so proud of you because you actually left the ground floor. And this one step further ahead is gonna set you apart because now you can actually start healing even more. Because you have already come a long way. You were at the ground floor and now you have taken one step. And it may seem like nothing has changed much because the stairs is so long. You know, the mountain tip is always so out of reach and you feel like you need to reach way too far, and it's just, if you see the whole picture, you are still kind of tied to the bottom, but you're not. You're no longer on the ground floor. You have stepped it up one step, okay? One step at a time. And this one step is so magical because you see things clearer. Because suddenly there's a new energy around you. There's different people around you. You will never attract the same people because you have healed and you are now one step ahead of them, right? You're not going to reach down, right? You're only moving upwards. Like you're reaching upwards, You're going to meet someone who's like even a step further ahead, and then you're going to realize things about yourself and you're going to keep stepping it up if you keep stepping it up. And the magic, what I'm talking about, is like, well, you suddenly realize that you've been stuck in a cycle, like kind of circling this ground floor all these years, but you didn't notice. But once you kind of break out of that place, it gets so much clearer. And you could cry about this because it's actually wild how we don't notice that when we are there. And some people, they stay down there. They don't have that need to actually leave that place. And it's really on them. Now, literally, I'm so proud of you because you actually left the ground floor. And this one step further ahead is going to set you apart because now you can actually start healing even more because you have already come a long way. And I really mean it. Like, suddenly you notice the energy shifting and your life can actually get better and you can actually take another step forward and another one and another one. Well, if you have patience, you keep going, but you already have. You've already stepped it up. So the good thing is now that you are one step further, there's no way you can fall back into this old cycle here because healed energy doesn't work with that unless there's someone down here who also stepped it up on their own staircase. That would be, yeah, I guess, you're kind of dreaming of that, and you don't know, maybe it's gonna happen. It could be that there's someone obviously also doing all this work, so you can meet them again. And basically that's when, even after years pass and you meet somebody again and you can have a healthy conversation because you realize, wow, okay, they also done the work. Then you can literally be like, yo, whatever happened in the past is so past us because we have grown out of this and we don't no longer care whatever once was. Like, that is just no longer a part of us. So we don't need to discuss that or have any bad feelings about that. I think that's like the most beautiful thing that I still wish for everybody. That's always what I wish for. Anyway, you're gonna do it for yourself because there you actually have control. And now that you have stepped it up one step, you're gonna step it up even further and further and further. And I think like that's the most magical energy you can be around, is like noticing that there is better ahead. It's not just saying it, because you're actually doing the work. Like, you're putting in the work. You're not just talking, you're putting in action. And therefore your energy shifts. And therefore you can actually, get better. And I believe in you because you already made this point of the video. Damn, like, what's wrong with you? You put in the work to heal like that. That's actually cool. And once you're one step further, it gets easier to shift your focus. It gets a lot easier because you see some source of light in the, ahead up there. Let's say you walk up the staircase and there's some light up there. You can see that there's something else ahead. And you kind of almost cut the strings to your past every night a little bit. I'm not saying it happens overnight, but suddenly it feels like, wait, why did I put all my energy into thinking about this one person? Or why did I even, spend all these months or years giving my energy to what once was that is not is not going to change. The past is past and it's not going to change. So it's just really hard when you're kind of in this cage, because sometimes I feel like the bottom is like a jail locked with no windows. It's dark and you can't see no light. But once you have just, taken one step further and you can see what's ahead, like, damn, you can never go back. And that's when, you know, your life changes and the people around you will change. And there's no way that you can hold on to what once was, because you just can't no more. That's only natural. That's why I like these videos, coming up with these metaphorical things, because I'm kind of visual in my thinking. And this makes a lot of sense. Now, I guess we say square one, whatever, or step it up, but that's actually what it is if you think about it in the 3D world type of scene. So yeah, don't be so hard on yourself if you think about them, because that's just natural. But whenever you have that thought, you definitely have control over how long you are thinking about them. So why not shift your focus intentionally? And I know that takes a little bit of work, but you also do the work that people can see, right? Like, for example, when your friend comes over, you clean the bathroom or the kitchen, or you prepare something so they can have food, or, that type of work, you also do that. So it's just a reminder to, like, treat our thoughts the same way. Actually, they're more important, because, I mean, what is a clean house with a messy mind? Nothing, right? There's people, honestly, I know someone, she will always have the cleanest house, I'm sure. But the only thing that we talk about is her problems, because somehow I'm the person that always answers with a positive mindset, no matter what's going on in my life, right? So I really mean that. And I would rather be messy in my house and have a balanced mind. Well, so it takes a little bit of effort, but let yourself think about them and let it go again like a normal thought. You're not gonna over obsess about anything. Because now, if there is something to talk about, reach out, call them, talk it through. If that's something you can do. If you can't, let's say all strings, you never had a chance to talk it out. You never got that type of closure. Well, I know that's super tough. I mean, we all feel like we deserve some sort of ending to close a chapter and open a new one, but we don't get that always. So, are we actually allowed to say that we have to have that? Because after all, it's really a lot involving. I mean, for you to get complete closure from something is wild to think about like that, because it's just not how this world is actually set up. So I guess it's a sort of a skill to, like, not expect that. And if you get it, it probably comes at a time where you have already healed enough, so you could move on without it anyway. Somehow you have this deep knowing that there will come a time when you completely have detached from whatever you are now overthinking about. And at that exact time, once you have cut all strings, you are completely detached. You no longer have any emotions, good or bad, towards that thing that once was, that person, whoever once was in your life. I think it's most likely that that's when they are going to hit you up and be like, "Yo, what's up?" I'm 100% sure. I can't be the only one thinking that way, right? You've changed your life. There's no way you can easily fall back into what once was. Like, I think that's the nice part about healing from the people of your past and the patterns of your past. You're not easily going to fall back once you have done all the work. So it suddenly is so obvious, and it seems like, well, how couldn't I have noticed that before? It's like once you talk to somebody and they try to do the same things again, say they haven't changed, a person of your past, then obviously they are crossing your boundaries. It gets so clear suddenly that that's what they have always been doing, and I always let them cross those boundaries constantly, and this is why we kept in touch, and this is why, whatever. Just all this is suddenly like a clear picture on your mind, and then obviously the conversation will probably end because you cannot have them cross your boundaries. So you're going to say something, and if they're still the same person, they're just going to walk away because they cannot handle that. Well, if they have changed, they now got to accept that you have those boundaries, and they're going to respect that, even apologize and like be like, oh wow, okay, you're right, and whatever, it can happen. Like I'm not saying anything is like this or like that, but I come to realize that whenever somebody who I once let cross certain boundaries comes back and kind of tries to do that again, like I see alarm clocks go off. And that's just like I just noticed that. Like I noticed that so clear. And then it gets so easy because you don't need to do crazy things. Like you can talk to them and you could just say no, or you just say a very calm sentence that shows them that this is not how it goes, and end of the conversation maybe. I don't know. And there's no need to get over emotional and waste your energy.